My colleagues will be introduced by her as well, so I don't introduce her, she will do that. I just want to say in the beginning, we are not really a group or a collective, or not yet, but we intend to work the next year together. The second remark I would like to say is that I prepared a two-part talk today, but I got the impression that the first part about artistic research would be too dry and too academic, so I think I leave it away, and I speak only about a specific approach of art and public sphere in the city of Zurich, which we did in Zurich. So I leave the first part away. Zurich is a city of understatement. Unlike many other cities, it boasts no architectural or biennial-like project driven by political or economic or cultural motivations. No project, that is to say, that could save or serve Zurich as a beacon amid the global competition between cities. That Lenin, Dada, Einstein, and James Joyce conceived crucial ideas in Zurich remains largely unknown. Zurich has at least one of the world's most important universities, the ETH, the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology. But what stands out in Zurich and what makes the city stand out, but literally lies below ground, is its excellent urban infrastructure. This is one of the reasons why so many global enterprises are headquartered here in Zurich, and what, together with private banking, makes this small city, a really small city, to a global city. Even a global city in second degree, not in the first degree. Then again, conflicts and tensions are barely visible in Zurich. Not that they don't exist. The economic problems caused by globalization, as much as the religious, political, or military conflicts, migration and human tragedies that shake the world, affect Switzerland only in minuscule, controlled doses. As if they were administered like homeopathic medicine, Switzerland, so it seems, only benefits from the conflicts of others, just as it did during the colonial period and the Cold War, or between the two world wars. Since the late 1990s, the gallery scene and the worldwide contemporary art market have established themselves as important factors in Zurich's creative industry and city marketing. Beyond its economic significance, however, art almost never entered public awareness. Only on some few rare occasions were public issues addressed through art and debated. It was especially this lack of artistic, intellectual engagement with public issues that got us to launch a research project lasting several years. As a research institute, we got a partnership with the local authorities on the one hand, and with foundations and private individuals on the other hand, and of course with around 16 artists involved. Our first aim was to establish structures within the local authorities capable of fostering public art actively and professionally. Here we were somehow successful, although the municipal office for the arts no longer works as we originally imagined it would do it. The second aim was to work on relevant issues together with artists. Our research team had 6 members, some of whom were academics, the others artists. Before we invited other artists to participate in further developments, we did several studies on urban space and urban development, on trade and commerce, demographics and migration, on social history, politics, and the media. Based on these studies, and in consultation with experts, among them cultural workers, we worked out factors significant for the city of Zurich that represented obvious or latent lines of conflict and that are worth a public debate. After that, we invited artists who had produced interesting work in these areas to work out project proposals. From the perspective of art, not all of these factors were of equal interest or value as a frame reference, as fields of intervention, and as topics for interventions and debate. So all these factors were also changed and manipulated. Monica Bonvicini, for instance, proposed a project that criticized the transparency of modern architecture as a representation of direct democracy. On the left top, you see some factors which were relevant for us to discuss. And because of these factors, we invited her as an artist to work in this field because we knew that she already had experience to work in this field. So we wanted to ask her to contribute a work in Zurich. Matthew Buckingham, referring to history, public space, and politics, developed a film project on crucial moment in the women's movement in late 1960s in Zurich. Harun Farocki made a film that linked the discourse of memorial sites with Protestant capitalist commodity fetishism. Nobody Research, which are here today, explored illegal car races in Switzerland, linking this topic to media coverage and considered it against the background of interconnected transnational social spaces inhabited by migrants, especially from Southeast Europe. Lawrence Wiener, finally, Lawrence Wiener's contribution was framed by the local mindset about knowledge production as a public sphere in Zurich. Zurich's Hardau district has the largest non-Swiss population in the city, namely over 40%. It is also the city's poorest district. The largest proportion of foreign population comes from Southeastern Europe, especially from former Yugoslavia. Many residents are Tamil refugees from Sri Lanka as well. We had the opportunity to do several art projects on the Hardau area. The first of these projects, participative artist actions involving local residents, mainly brought to light cultural particularities through stories, music, and dance, and they initiated discussions and exchange among the various communities in the area. The diverse cultural values affecting daily life provided the framework for the later sculptural project. Sisley Jaffa, an artist from Kosovo, created this sculpture, which we see now here in the image, which is at once a slingshot and a love swing. The Y soon became a meeting point for the neighborhood's youth. Sisley Jaffa's sculpture suggests self-critically how fast political engagement and resistance, for which the price of often paid by fleeing one's own country, are abandoned in favor of the seductive pleasure and coziness of one's new homeland. His piece is a memorial in several respects. What I wanted to stress here in this very, very short introduction in our research field is the interdisciplinary process in the context of art and public sphere. Conditions in the fields are so complex, the problems so challenging, that they can hardly be coped by the artist, by individual artists. To be able to contribute to relevant public debates, everyone in this area must rely on partners possessing different skills. But what I want to stress is that we had interdisciplinary groups not only in relation of producing artworks and working with artists together doing art pieces. In the first stage already, we had interdisciplinary groups who discussed or evaluated the city's situation and discussed certain factors which were relevant as positive or negative relevant to the cities and which could be used or could be interesting, debated through the arts. So this was the aspect which was for Zurich very important, maybe for another city not that much, that we had first to scan the whole city and to evaluate which fields are interesting to intervene and which topics and which issues are interesting as for the artist to rely on. So that was a stage before we invited the artist, which I usually didn't see in other cities as a method or as a model how to go on or how to deal with public art or art with public sphere. Thank you.
You want to talk, please?